Hello, everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Tuesday, and it is May 25th. We have a couple of meetings to tell you about today. At 9:30 this morning, we have the Disaster Preparedness Task Force meeting. And then at 1:30 this afternoon, we have the United Finance Committee meeting. And of course, you can follow along with these meetings at lagunawoodsvillage.com/meetings. Now, on our show today, we have a security update with Carlos Rojas, and he talks all about some exciting things that are going on here and some things that you should be aware of as well. And then we have a interview with Dr. Law, who is from Memorial Care Saddleback Medical Center. All right, let's go ahead and give you our vaccine information that we normally do. Of course, you can register at othena.com, where you can get your vaccine at the local points of distribution, or you can find the vaccine at vaccinefinder.org. And then for the latest updates on what's happening here in California with COVID, you can go to covid19.ca.gov. All right, our weather is looking quite nice this week. It was pretty warm yesterday, surprisingly, and it's going to be a little warm today. We're looking at 81, 61, and already the clouds have burned off, but we have some high clouds today. 74, 62, 73, 57 on Thursday. Friday, nice and sunny, 75, 58, and Saturday, very pleasant, 71, 62. Now, our sunrise this morning was at 5:44, and our sunset will be at 7:52, and you can settle on down with a nice glass of wine because today is National Wine Day. And just so you know that consumption is projected to increase by 85% by the year 2025. So get your wine now. All right, we'll be right back with a security update, so stay tuned.
Welcome to the Meridian at Laguna Hills, a newly multi-million-dollar renovated community. Located in beautiful southern Orange County, the Meridian at Laguna Hills blends quality senior care onto the bright canvas of Laguna Hills Life. With a luxurious 5-star resort-style community and a dedication to resident care, you can experience an exquisite senior lifestyle unlike any other. Discover a community filled with care and the freedom to pursue what matters most. It's a new day and it's yours. Make the most of it at the Meridian at Laguna Hills.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by our Chief of Security, Carlos Rojas. Well, Carlos, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, Lisa, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And, soon enough, we're going to get you in the studio here. I think you're more comfortable in your office, though, aren't you?
Either way, I'm just glad to participate.
Excellent, excellent. Good answer, good answer. All right, well, Carlos, what do you got going on? You know, we actually have a few interviews scheduled with the Orange County Fire Authority, and wildfire is probably going to be on their minds, just like it is here on the village as well.
Oh, absolutely. We have the summer months coming, so we know things are going to heat up. And we have been doing some virtual training with one of our partners, the American Red Cross, and we've had many residents that have participated in the program. And of course, these are trainings which we would like to do live, but at the moment we're doing it virtually. And that's all coordinated through the Disaster Preparedness Task Force. So we really encourage the residents with the summer months coming, one, to stay hydrated, and two, to become more aware and educate themselves via various sources, whether it's the OCFA or taking one of our virtual classes with the American Red Cross.
Oh, that's great. Now, give me an example of what the class covers.
Well, we did have a class that took place on May 4th, and that was virtual training that covers everything from wildfires to earthquakes and various other disasters that may occur. So of course, we have a calendar of the training that is available on the website for folks to explore to see if it's something that they're interested in taking. But really what we're focusing on right now is the extreme heat emergencies and wildfires.
Okay, great. And they can go to the LagunaWoodsVillage.com website, right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Well, that's great. I mean, that would be nice to know. Maybe we would even talk to the Disaster Preparedness Task Force to maybe visit with us too. I know that they have this great bag that residents can get, which has all sorts of great emergency things.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, excellent. Now, just out of curiosity, we've had a few discussions with a variety of different companies that are having difficulty getting people to come to work or to apply for the positions. Are you guys having that same issue?
One of the biggest challenges that we're faced with in the security department is being able to hire enough gate ambassadors. And as you know, the majority of our gate ambassadors are residents, and we take great pride in having our residents be employees of BMS and work our gates, because they are the first line of defense, if you will, when people come into the village, and they create that first impression for any guests that might be coming into the village. Mm-hmm. So we're really pushing a recruitment for gate ambassadors, and ideally we really want to target our residents to apply. And they can do that by going on Indeed.com, and they can apply online. And I think one of our strengths is the community is that we do have our residents as employees. And I believe that bodes well both on the resident side as well as for the company. So we really encourage people to give a serious thought to becoming a gate ambassador here at Laguna Woods Village.
Can you give me a brief overview of exactly what a gate ambassador is responsible for?
Sure. Everybody that's probably viewing this broadcast knows that to get to their residence or to their manor, they have to go through one of the gates. So those are the folks that there's usually one or two people at the gate. They have to be able to have the skill set to work the computer system inside the gate to verify that people who are coming into the village do belong or have authorization or permission to enter the village. And there's no security training necessary. They do have a telephone, a radio there in the event that they do need security, but most of what they do is just part of the daily operation of greeting people as they come into the village and just confirming that they have authorization to be in the village.
So a friendly demeanor would be great, right?
That would be outstanding, and that's what we shoot for every time we hire a gate ambassador, is somebody that has that friendly demeanor and a nice smile that they can greet somebody with.
Oh, I love it. Well, hopefully you'll be able to find more people, because I know that they're all working hard out there right now. So the RFID tags, we talked about that many, many times. What's going on with those?
Yeah, so RFID is a very good technology that has enhanced the efficiency of people getting into the village and enhanced our security here in the village. And we have 87% of the residents have the RFID tag. And basically what that does, it allows somebody who has authorization to be in the village and has a tag as a resident to automatically go through the appropriate lane so the gate arm opens automatically. Otherwise, they have to go through the guest lane. Sometimes there could be a backup, whether it's deliveries taking place or guests coming in. And we would like to reach 100%. I don't know we'll ever get there, but we do have 87% of our residents that have RFID on their vehicles, and they can get an RFID tag through resident services.
Okay, well, that 87%, that's awesome. That's really great. I mean, you don't have that many more people to go. So hopefully over time, you'll be able to achieve at least closer to 90, 95 would be awesome.
That would be great.
And then, we've seen a few interesting things in our news lately regarding, hate crimes for a variety of different people, which is really unfortunate. Are we seeing anything like that here in the community?
Well, we have been very fortunate here in the village to not have had any hate crimes, despite what you see on the news, the narrative regarding various race-related hate crimes occurring throughout the country. We've had some incidents that more center around the lack of civility by folks. And so one of the things that we encourage from that security perspective is that civil decorum in order for people to get along and basically be a good member of the community here in the village. So we've had a few incidents which did center around the lack of civility, and there was some racial overtones to them, but I do want to emphasize that they did not rise to the level of a hate crime. And in talking with the Orange County Sheriff's Department, the city of Laguna Woods has not had a hate crime since 2019. So I believe we're very fortunate. And with what we have in place here in the village, I think we're in a very good position to avoid any type of issues that would rise to a hate crime. But I do want to emphasize that the lack of civility or any violation of rules is something that is addressed through our compliance division. So there could be ramifications related to that type of unsavory behavior, even if it doesn't rise to the level of a crime.
Now, civility is something I think we really need to take into consideration now, primarily because we're just coming back after this hellacious year of being inside. So hopefully people will take into consideration the Thrive motto is, kindness and resilience.
Oh, absolutely. And I understand everybody's been cooped up for a very long time, and sometimes we can all get a little impatient or, have a bad day. So I think we have to be able to overcome those type of situations, and then remember that we're all trying to coexist and lead productive and happy lives in a nice environment like Laguna Woods Village.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, speaking of nice environment, I mean, it seems like a really safe environment too. We've got you and all of our security that are looking out for us. How is that looking overall?
Yeah, overall, the village is a very safe place. But with that can also come complacency. So for me, it's very important to constantly remind people just to be aware of their environment, and if they see something, say something. But with that being said, Lisa, I do want to give you the scoop here on a new program that we're getting ready to launch. Okay. So one of the issues that we have from time to time are bike thefts. And so I'm sure there's some viewers out there who can relate to this and say, oh yeah, I had my bike stolen here in the village. And what we're doing is creating a bike registration program. And that will be free of cost. And folks will be able to register their bike with the security department, where we'll be able to have a picture of the bike, the serial number, and the model. And what that allows us to do is, one, to recover the bike if we do find it here in the village, and two, allow the sheriff's department to prosecute and hold people accountable for any type of theft that may occur. And so this is very exciting for us, and we're still developing it, but we hope to have more information out to all the residents, and it will be a purely voluntary program.
That's great. It seemed as though the whole year, so many people were buying those electric bikes, and those are not inexpensive.
Yes, absolutely. And when you have those expensive bikes, that's also the difference. The cost or the value is the difference between a petty theft and a grand theft. Wow. And if the sheriff's department does not have information such as a serial number, it's very difficult for them to recover it and also prosecute somebody for committing the theft.
Well, that sounds like a great program, especially for those who may have some of those more expensive bikes. So awesome. I look forward to hearing more about the details of how that will work and how they'll be able to track those folks down who may steal that bike. So great information, Carlos. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much for having me on.
All right. We'll talk to you again.
Okay. Take care.
All right. And we'll be right back after this.
Breast cancer takes patients down paths they never expected, and Memorial Care Comprehensive Breast Center at Saddleback can help navigate the way. We provide multidisciplinary breast care services for the early detection, diagnosis, and treatment of breast cancer using state-of-the-art technology in a personalized environment designed to meet the needs of each woman.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Dr. David Law, who is here on behalf of Memorial Care Saddleback Medical Center, who has studied pulmonology and critical care for many years, but is now heading up the age-friendly Committed to Care Excellence program. Now, of course, you've had the age-friendly program for some time, but you know, maybe we just haven't heard enough about it. So welcome to the program to share that with us.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Thanks for having me on. Any opportunity I have to promote age-friendly healthcare is something I heartily embrace. But you know, a lot of people ask, well, what is it? What does it mean, age-friendly healthcare? Well, here's the short version. The healthcare policymakers in this country have realized for many, many years that the American healthcare system simply is not poised to take care of this tsunami of older adults that's coming down the pike in the next 20 to 25 years. You know, in the next 20 to 25 years, patients my age, 65 and over, are going to comprise almost 25% of the population, close to 100 million of us. Yep. And this includes a huge number of older adults with multiple chronic complex conditions. And we know there's people who are listening out there are certainly aware of this. And the American healthcare system is just not primed to handle this. One of the problems is that patients of my age, I'm throwing myself in there because I'm 81, simply have a hard time getting evidence-based care. And the reason I bring that up is because when we physicians treat patients in the office, look, we are guideline driven. There's guidelines out there that tell us how to treat diabetes and high blood pressure and heart disease and stroke and whatnot. And these guidelines come from from randomized controlled studies that are in the literature. And these are all vetted by our professional societies and by the insurance companies and by the accrediting agencies. But guess what? The subjects who make up these studies are much younger. Their average age of about 55 to 60. They do not have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 medical conditions. They are not on 10, 15, 20 medications. Right. It's a whole different body of patients that that these studies comprise. Now, in older adults, they have 4 chronic health conditions, which is not unusual. They end up on 15, 16 medications. And these medications, we know not all of them are helpful. Some of them are. And we know that there's at least 1 or 2 that might be harmful. That's what I'm saying, that older adults just do not have access to evidence-based care medicine for the most part, particularly if they're frail, particularly if they have multiple complex conditions.
Right.
Well, the Institute for Healthcare Improvement, which is an organization that is continually looking for ways to make healthcare safer, along with the John A. Hartford Foundation, which is a philanthropic organization, spotted this and said, there's something we have to do something about. We have to find a way to make care of older adults safer, economic, and evidence-based. So they scanned a number of healthcare systems that were looking specifically at older adults and how they're handling older adults, what they were doing, what worked, what didn't work. To make a very long story short, they reduced healthcare to 4 elements called the 4 M's. Okay. What matters most? Now they're determining what matters most to patients, not to physicians, what matters most to patients, and aligning care according to what matters most. That's the first M. The second M is medications. Avoid high-risk medications for patients, the medications that are dangerous, and deprescribe medications that are no longer beneficial. The third M, mentation. Screen for depression, dementia, and delirium, and take measures before these problems become worse. And the most important one that we're going to focus on later next month is movement. Patients, older patients must move safely every day to prevent falls, to improve cognitive function and others. Now, the reason I'm saying these are all evidence-based, each one of these elements, when practiced individually in various settings, showed benefit to older adults, either improve patient satisfaction, either cost saving or reduce falls or reduce medication reaction. But when used together as a framework in which to treat medications, it is evidence-based and improves care for older adults. So that's the short form of age-friendly healthcare.
So those are all very important, of course. And one thing that kind of comes to mind, though, is along these lines, when you say that, you know, you have the organizations who are taking a look at this, which obviously is help fueling what's to come down the pike. How does insurance fall in line with this? I mean, we have Medicare and some others. Are they taking note as well?
Medicare and certainly the accrediting agencies like the Joint Commission they are being very forthcoming and looking to see how healthcare systems are gearing up to treat older adults. Okay. And they are very much embracing this age-friendly health systems. Now, whether or not it's embedded in their provisions, I can't speak to that, but very definitely they know that the care of older adults is going to be crucial on the horizon coming down the pike.
Well, that's good because, you know, you talked about medications and, you know, many people can't get certain kinds of medication here in our country. So they do go out of the state or out of the country. But then also we have people who can only get certain kinds and can't get others. So when you said that there's medications that are harmful to people, well, they're taking them because that's the only thing their insurance company might be paying for.
Well, you know, I'm really not referring to generics might be more harmful than brand or vice versa. That's not really what I mean. Okay. What I mean is there are medications that are known to be dangerous for older adults. Okay. And there is a whole list called the Beers criteria, which anybody can look up online. That's BEERS, named after Dr. Beers. And there is an amazing list of medications that are dangerous. Now, I'll give you an example. Sedatives, Valium, Xanax, Librium, Restoril. These are all very common, and Ativan that are prescribed for older adults for sedation, for relaxation, for sleep. That maybe at age 50 or 55 might be okay, but even but at age 75 or 80, these are medications which can cause cognitive impairment, that can cause instability, that leads to falls. And that's not the only kind of medication. That's kind of what I'm referring to. And these are medications that are commonly prescribed for older adults. And there's a whole list of medications. I'm not going to go on to that list, but that's what we need. The other thing is, you know, when patients are started on medication at age 50 or 55 for a particular problem, because it prevents a catastrophic event in the next 10 or 15 years, well, by the time that patient is 75 or 80, that medication may no longer have that same value, and in fact may be more riskier in terms of side effects.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm talking about. You know, at age 50, 55, 60, we metabolize medications a lot different than when we reach 80 or 85. And a lot of times the doses aren't changed. Mm-hmm. A lot of times medications are continued even though the window of benefit has closed. And that presents a risk for older adults. Yeah. So that's another part of what we're talking about, this medication M. That medication has to continually be reviewed, and dangerous medications discontinued, and medications that are no longer beneficial have to be discontinued.
That's great. Well, thank you for the clarification because I wanted to make sure we were on the same page. That's really good news. Now, what then would Saddleback Memorial Care be doing possibly differently than a hospital who isn't age friendly? Obviously, you mentioned evaluating the medications on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. What else?
Well, okay, let's take the first M. What matters most? Now, the nurses have been instructed at the end of each shift, they will question the patient, what matters most? What matters most today? Or what's going to matter most tomorrow for your care? And it is to be documented. And we have a best practice alert that if a high-risk medication is ordered by a physician, that alert pops up. Mm. This is a high-risk medication. You know, do you want to continue? Do you want to change to a safer medication? It's up to the physician because there's times when you need those medications. The third, mentation. Well, we have a tool that the nurses use to screen for delirium in the hospital. and they're to apply this tool once a shift and document it. Is it positive? Is it negative? And they also have a list of interventions if a patient happens to test positive for delirium. And we have a whole list of preventative measures that we use in every patient to reduce the risk of cognitive impairment. One of those interventions, by the way, is providing an opportunity for 6 uninterrupted hours of sleep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've implemented that. That's standard work at Saddleback because sleep deprivation leads to cognitive impairment in older adults in the hospital. The last M, patients are to ambulate 3 times every day in the hallway wherever possible. So that's how Saddleback is implementing the 4 M's. And we're documenting it, and it's subject to audit and review.
That's great. And then as you get more and more information over the years, you'll be able to hopefully, produce studies and have, like you said, the factual information that most patients, I think, are looking for. They want to have statistics. They want to have some sort of evidence saying, okay, well, I've been on this forever. Why do I need to change now? So I think that's really excellent. Now, you guys have a seminar that's coming up. It's called the Balancing Act. Does it discuss these types of things?
Correct. It's May 20th. It's going to be a Zoom lecture, and we're going to focus on falls. We're going to focus on falls, but you can't talk about falls without talking about all 4 M's, because cognitive impairment leads to falls. High-risk medication leads to falls. When you have a fall, you can't do what matters most. So we're really going to put falls in the context of the 4 M's in age-friendly healthcare. But I will say this as a point of advertising: you will learn, everybody will learn, how can I assess my own risk for a fall? And what can I do to reduce my risk for a fall? So the people are going to learn this at this conference.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for clarifying all of this. It sounds like a really great program. And like you said, there's going to be so many older adults here over the next 20 years that everyone better get started now.
You bet. That's true.
All right. Dr. Law, thank you again.
My pleasure. Anytime.
And we'll be right back after this.
All right, let's take a look at our weather one last time before we head out to enjoy our beautiful day. The weather is looking quite nice today. The fog is already burned off, and we are looking at nice skies today with some high clouds. 81-61 tomorrow, 74-62 Thursday, 73-57. Friday looking beautiful, 75-58, and then Saturday, 71-62. Join us again tomorrow at 9 a.m. right here on Village Television. You can watch our show again, and then you can also watch it at 12:30 and 5 right here on Village Television as we repeat, or you can go to our YouTube channel, Village Television. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Harvard Eye Associates. We're focused on your eye care at all 3 of our Orange County locations.
Our new location in Laguna Hills, Orange, and San Clemente.
Each facility features the latest in advanced technology and diagnostic equipment.
And a trusted collection of doctors that care about your vision and your quality of life.
We deliver what matters to you
and your family.
Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today.